If you are new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe. Hit the subscribe button below, and hit also the notification bell so that you won't miss any of my new videos. From 1914 to 1915, Felix Manalo single-handedly established 9 local congregations in Manila and Rizal province. A detailed discussion of the history of the Iglesia Ni Cristo from 1914 to 1915 is presented in the part 1 of this series. If you have not yet watched the part 1 of this series, Iglesia Ni Cristo History, from 1914 to 1915, we put the link at the description below. At the end of 1918, the Iglesia Ni Cristo already established 16 locale congregations in Manila, the capital city of the Philippines, and in 4 provinces, Rizal, Bulacan, Nueva Ecija, and Pampanga. On December 25, 1918, pastors of the denomination called Disciples of Christ recognized the achievements of the Iglesia Ni Cristo. At the Cine Gloria Theater, in Pritil, Tondo, Manila, they presented to Felix Manalo a plaque of recognition as an outstanding evangelist. One of the signatories was the American missionary, Wolfe. Although there were leaders of other religions recognizing the achievements of the Iglesia Ni Cristo, but others reacted negatively. Persecution against the Iglesia Ni Cristo intensified. The church received numerous challenges for a formal religious debate from leaders and pastors of different religions. In Taytay, for example, a Roman Catholic priest challenged the church in a formal religious debate. The debate was held on December 1918, in the town plaza. Justino, Casanova and Felix Manalo faced the Roman Catholic priest in the said debate. A detailed discussion of the history of the Iglesia Ni Cristo from 1915 to 1918 is presented in the part 2 of this series. If you have not yet watched the part 2 of this series, Iglesia Ni Cristo History, 1915 to 1918, we put the link at the description below. In this video we present the history of the Iglesia Ni Cristo from 1919 to 1924. This is only an academic discussion. We do not intend to prove or disprove anything about this organization, but only to have a glimpse of its history, the beginning, growth and development. The Paris Peace Conference officially began on January 18, 1919. The Paris Peace Conference was the formal meeting in 1919 and 1920 of the victorious Allies after the end of World War I to set the peace terms for the defeated Central Powers. The Big Four leaders dominated the conference. The Big Four were French Prime Minister Georges Clemenceau, British Prime Minister David Lloyd George, U.S. President Woodrow Wilson, and Italian Prime Minister Vittorio Emanuele Orlando. They met informally 145 times and made all major decisions before they were ratified. In 1919, the Iglesia Ni Cristo established 6 local congregations. These were the following: Kalumpang, Marikina, Peñaranda, Nueva Ecija, Parañaque, San Fernando, Pampanga, Santa Barbara, Bacolor, Pampanga, and San Vicente, Bacolor, Pampanga. Thus, from 1914 up to 1919, or more than 5 years since Felix Manalo began preaching the Iglesia Ni Cristo in the Far East, the church already established 22 locale congregations in Manila and in 4 provinces. May 1919. The very first ordination of ministers of the Gospel of the Iglesia Ni Cristo was held on May 10, 1919. 3 were ordained: Justino Casanova, Federico Inocencio, and Teodoro Santiago. August 1919. Manalo decided to go to the United States of America to further his studies of different religions and to gather books and references that can be used especially in engaging in formal religious debates. Before his departure in September 1919, he visited all the local congregations of the church. September 1919. One day in September that year he sailed for the U.S. and stayed at Berkeley, California, burying himself in Bible research and studies, and attending classes in a school of religion. He collected and gathered books and references as one of his main objectives in going to the U.S. He remained there for less than a year. Manalo came back to the Philippines in the following year. First half of 1920. Although Manalo was in U.S. during this period, but the missionary works of the church continued. On January 16, 1920, Talba was officially established as a locale congregation. In March 1920, 3 local congregations were established in Pasay. In April 1920, the local congregation of Sampaloc in Manila was established. Also in April 1920, the locale of Santa Barbara, Lubao and Pampanga was established. Third quarter of 1920. Upon his return, Manalo immediately resumed conducting ministerial classes in Manila. Manalo also established ministerial classes in Pampanga. This intensified the recruitment of church workers and the missionary activities in that province. Last quarter of 1920. Manalo himself officiated the first evangelical mission held in Guagua, Pampanga. Benito Simbilio and Bernardo Turla continued the missionary work in that area. In October 1920, the locale of Guagua was established with Benito Simbilio as the first resident church worker. Bernardo Turla was the resident church worker of Santa Barbara, Lubao, when he established a missionary work in San Antonio, Lubao. In December 1920, the locale of San Antonio, Lubao was established. January 1921. In January 1921, Manalo visited the locale of San Antonio, Lubao. During this time, the church already has 28 local congregations in Manila, Rizal, Bulacan, Nueva Ecija, and Pampanga. Since 1917, the central office was in Azcaraga Street. But in the year 1921, the central office was transferred from Azcaraga Street to Juan Luna Street, Gagalangan, Tondo, Manila. May 1921. In May 1921, the second ordination of ministers was held. 3 were ordained: Maximo Valencia, Bernardo Turla, and Raimundo Monsilungan. Eight new local congregations were established in 1921, Mili Butad, Baitasan, Gatchawin, and Poblacion, all in Arad, Pampanga. Santa Cruz in San Simon, also in Pampanga. Siquia in Manila. Bayan-Bayanan in Marikina. And Caloocan. March 1922. The third ordination was held in March 1922. 3 were ordained: Santiago Lopez, Teofilo Ora, and Honwario Ponce. Second quarter of 1922. Bitter because he was left out in 3 past ordinations, Basilio Santiago started to circulate accusations against Manalo. Santiago was assisted by Ora and Ponce. They call for an election of a new executive minister because according to them Manalo was no longer fit to be the executive minister of the church. This was an attempt of Ora to depose Manalo and place himself as the executive minister of the church. Knowing the existence of the church itself was in danger, Manalo acted decisively and called an emergency meeting of all ministers in the central office in Gagalangan, Tondo, with Justino Casanova presiding. Manalo defended himself by belying the charges and presenting supporting documents. Then in a division of the House, he won decisively. Defeated, Ora and company founded their own church with Ora as the executive minister and inviting recruits from the Iglesia Ni Cristo. Their recruitment efforts were initially effective in Bulacan and Nueva Ecija. However, Manalo then took to the field to gather the member back to the flock, and once more, peace reigned in the church. On the other hand, the new church of Ora and Ponce withered away. Second half of 1922. Immediately after the Ora rebellion, the church continued her missionary works and the church continued to be successful. The church successfully established another local congregation in Nueva Ecija, the locale of San Fernando, Callao. Another local congregation in Pampanga was established, the locale of Casanova. During this period, another province in central Luzon was reached by the church, the province of Tarlac. On November 6, 1922, the locale of Balutu, in Concepcion, Tarlac, was established. To address the growing needs of the church, the central office was again transferred. In 1922, the central office was transferred from Gigalangan to Forbes Street, now called Lacson Avenue. In May 1923, the fourth ordination was held. Two were ordained, Benito Simbilio and Feliciano Gonzalez. Also in May 1923, another local congregation in Tarlac was established, the locale of Magao, Concepcion. Also during this year, another locale congregation in Pampanga was established, the locale of Bayabas, Bacolor. Also in 1923, the central office was once again transferred to 133 Riverside in San Juan City, and remained there until 1930. The Iglesia Ni Cristo continued to spread in 1924, establishing the locales of Concepcion, Tarlac, San Francisco del Monte, Malaban, Pandacan, and Pasay. An ordination was also held in 1924, the fifth ordination of the church. Two were ordained. Thus, in 1924, the Iglesia Ni Cristo already has 45 locale congregations and 27 church workers. Another chapter in the history of the Iglesia Ni Cristo opened in 1924 with the establishment of the very first ecclesiastical district of the church, the Ecclesiastical District of Pampanga. Please also watch Part 4 of this series, Iglesia Ni Cristo History, from 1924 to 1938. Please leave a comment below. If you find this video informative and helpful, please give it a like and share with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell so that you will not miss any of our new videos.